a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC Worldwide and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is always on top here on your CNC local news pages. A couple of economic-related notes to start off with today. The U.S. Secretary of Labor and the Chancellor of New York State University System were at Monroe Community College on Monday, rolling out a $14.6 million federal grant to train new workers for manufacturing jobs. Hilda Solis and Nancy Zimford joined MCC President Ann Kress and other officials, including Congresswoman Louise Slaughter, on a tour of MCC's career training programs. This grant from the Labor Department goes to a consortium of New York community colleges led by MCC. The goal is to coordinate all 30 community colleges to work with the manufacturing sector across the state. They'll keep abreast of the skills industries need in this high-tech age and adjust their course offerings accordingly. Since manufacturing products now involves an understanding of science, technology, engineering, and math, the schools also want to be proactive in identifying the new career opportunities and training students to meet them. Chancellor Zimfer says that lets SUNY and the community colleges help drive economic development and job growth. This grant comes from something called the Federal Trade Adjustment Assistance Community College and Career Training Program, one of those federal things that comes up to be TACT as an acronym. The Manufacturers Alliance of New York and the Manufacturers Association of Central New York are joining with SUNY under TACT to help develop uniform curricula for all the community colleges. So have 150 other industry associations and employers across the state, and manufacturers of all sizes will work to train, place, and hire the students along with their local colleges. On a less optimistic note, State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli says his office is implementing a fiscal early warning system for local governments and school districts around New York. DiNapoli says his office will use the data already submitted by more than 4,000 local governments, and he will assign them scores based on their degree of fiscal stress. With a growing number of local governments facing significant financial trouble, the comptroller says this will make it obvious who needs to take corrective action before a full-blown financial crisis develops. Governments will be rated in significant fiscal stress, moderate fiscal stress, or nearing fiscal stress if DiNapoli's auditors think they're in trouble. They'll rate them by 9 financial indicators, from how much cash they have in the bank to tax assessment growth. DiNapoli timed this announcement to go with the release of a report on the fiscal condition of New York's cities. Not surprisingly, it finds them in the grip of declining population, benefit and pension costs that are growing fast, and tax bases that aren't growing. For instance, Rochester lost nearly 13% of its population between 1980 and 2010, and Buffalo lost 27% over those 3 decades. Rochester lost 12% of its 1980 employment base, and the Buffalo area more than 15%. That's despite job growth that has taken place. Both cities now have about 30% of their residents living at or below the poverty level. In other news, a committee of the Monroe County Legislature has voted down a proposal from the legislature's Democrats to guarantee a dignified burial to indigent county residents whose families can't afford to give them a funeral. The Agenda and Charter Committee of the Republican-controlled legislature voted the referral down along party lines 3-2. Democrats wanted to establish a dignified indigent burial policy and set standards for the handling of the dead by any facility that accepts county vouchers for indigent cremations and burials. They tried to raise the amount of money the county provides for burial of the indigent over the summer, but that was also shot down. The county provides a $1,250 voucher to families who can't afford a funeral for a loved one who dies in poverty. That provides for cremation and burial at the Owatka Cemetery, but not for a marker or for maintenance of the grave sites. The Rochester Institute of Technology believes it set a new world record for tug of war this past weekend at the 17th annual Mud Tug. RIT's News Bureau says it unofficially broke the record with 1,647 tuggers, and if confirmed by the Guinness World Record people, that would break the previous record of 1,290. That was set by students in the Netherlands in 2010. More than 150 teams took part in the Mud Tug this year, with the losers yanked into pits of well, mud. Last year's event raised $11,000 for Hillside Children's Services. The money is still coming in. They hope to do better this year. And finally, the first ever Rochester Fringe Festival that wrapped up Sunday surpassed expectations for attendance. Event organizers tweeted on Monday that the 5-day event drew more than 33,000 people to downtown Rochester. The directors of the Eclectic Arts and Performance Festival had expected around 15,000 for their first time out. The festival's board of directors says they'll add 5 more days to the festival for 2013. On this page, to the left of this player window, you can find links to these and other stories. At the bottom in that gray bar, links that you can use, and you can post us news items that you've written, things that you'd like us to know or to check out. So send it along to us, and we'll have a look at it and post them up here for everybody. Next news as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.